Hello, and welcome to the Village. I'm Dr. Roz, CEO and founder of the Village Leadership Group, LLC, where we encourage, inspire, and motivate teacher leaders. Why? Because we believe that teacher leadership is a mindset and not a position. So we are a community of teacher leaders coming together to learn and share from one another. Listen, we've been talking about goal setting within the village, and it's June. That's right, it's the halfway mark. So we want our teachers to kind of pause, reset, refocus, and make sure that you rebuild because it's June. It's halfway. Just because you haven't, checked off the box and met certain goals, it's not too late to reshift and get it done. June is Rebuild Your Life Month. And so we want to make sure that teachers take the time out to reset during our summer break. That's right, we're celebrating the summer. And we're so excited. The school year is over. That was the longest school year ever. But now that we have a break, that doesn't mean that we can't be productive and still be intentional about reaching our goals. So, when we talk about goals, you know who I need to bring into the village. My coach, my girl, Dineen Merriweather. Welcome back to the village,
Hey
Dineen.
everybody! Oh my God! Hi, how y'all doing? It's been a while. It's been way too long, so I'm gonna like explode out of my seat by the time I get into this conversation with Dr. Roz about how we're going to rebuild ourselves and get ready for the new year. As she was saying, it's not too late to reach those goals that you had set for January, right? Even though we're halfway there, it just means that we need to get you refocused on it. And you know, this whole conversation about insanity. We know doing the same things and thinking that you're going to get some different results is insane. So we're going to give you some pointers today that's going to help you reboot and get you shifting, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to get you shifting.
Excellent. So, Dineen, one of the things, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with me. I wait all year long, and January comes and I get all excited, but then things get a little hectic. You get into the testing season with the school year. Things get a little busy in March, in April, and then by the time May rolls around, you look up and you're like, wait a minute, I haven't reached those marks, those milestones that I said that I was going to reach for my goals. And then June hits, and now you're thinking, is it too late?
Yeah.
So I love what you're going to talk about today about shifting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we need to do. And we have some time during the summer to really shift and keep pressing towards our goals. So tell us about shifting our focus.
Yes. All right. So before we get into this conversation, I love to always introduce myself to let people know. I know y'all know me here in the village, but it's you can never introduce yourself too many times for people to really get in and to know who you are. So my name is Dineen Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenprenuer's Jumpstart program. It's the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. And you do this by building your courage, confidence, and competence so you can accept, believe, and commit to what it is that God has called you to do. So right now inside the chat, if you're here, if you're live with us, I want you to put in the chat, #I'm shifting, #I'm shifting, #I'm shifting. And the whole thing about shifting, Dr. Roz, is that people have to get that there is some other place for them to go or to be. And again, as we stated a couple of seconds ago, just because you haven't gotten there yet, it doesn't mean that you don't have time, right? I think most goals that we have, we could really get there within 6 weeks, I think, to 3 months. But it's really just dependent upon how focused you are, as you said, how intentional you are, which is your word, right? And how much effort you really want to put behind it. So if we can get into this conversation, let's just go ahead and start off with the S, right? I made an acronym for shift. I think people tend to remember things when you break them down in different ways that they can understand or at least remember. And the thing that resonates the most with you, then that's the one you hold on to and that's the one you implement, right? Because getting a good word and getting a good lesson like you do on Sunday mornings, If you ain't putting it into action, it's just a good word. And the word applied is where it's at. Do you get it? So let's talk about systems. The first thing that I want to talk about systems, Dr. Roz, is there's 4 different systems that I believe that you should have, like the most important. The first thing is you need to have a morning routine, y'all. If you are coasting in life, or you look, that's being spontaneous and all that other stuff, that's for the birds. No millionaire is spontaneous when it comes to running a business or running their life. So let's get over the being spontaneous. Leave that for your friends and when you're hanging out on vacation. But when it comes to your life and building these systems and reaching your goal, you need to really have a morning routine. And if you're looking for guidance, let's say you don't know where to start, you don't know how to get this morning routine going, I'm gonna give you 2 recommendations that I need you to go to. Number 1, the book The Miracle Morning. You can do it on audio, you can read the hard copy, because what we say here in the village and everywhere else, leaders read. So if you ain't reading, you ain't growing. If you ain't listening to a book or listening to something that's going to develop you, you ain't growing. And that's maybe one of the reasons why you need to be getting coached by Dr. Oz or someone like myself, because you don't want to be in the same place 6 months from now, like the end of the year, with the same goals and nothing checked off. You get what I'm saying? Hashtag I'm shifting. Hashtag I'm shifting. Okay, so I need you to get a morning routine. The number 2, you need to really do something about your health. Like meal prepping is a thing. And I know that it's so popular for people to be out here talking about health and weight loss and all these things. But do you know that a lot of time is spent grocery shopping, cooking food, or buying food out? Now, Dr. Roz, I know you about these coins too. And I don't know if I ever talked about it here, but before my family and I really got structured and about our meal planning and what we was going to eat, we were spending like $80 a day eating out. Now you go ahead and do the math on what that would be for a month, but I added it up and I felt like that was hashtag unacceptable. Put hashtag unacceptable in the chat. Yep, it was unacceptable. So meal prep and meal planning is something that you need to think about, not just for your pockets, but for your health, to be able to do the things and reach your goals and have the energy that you need to implement. The third thing underneath the systems that I think that you should have is a schedule. Do y'all understand that I got standards all around my schedule? That Dr. Roz, so like you cannot be popping up here on Dineen Merriweather schedule the day of or even the next day. Do you get my day tomorrow is already shut down? Meaning you can't even have no conversation with me about my calendar for tomorrow. You need to talk to me about 2 days from now, because that's the only opportunity you're gonna have to get on this calendar. Do you smell what I'm cooking? Hashtag I'm shifting. Hashtag I'm shifting, right? So get schedule. And the last thing underneath the systems that I think that you should really grab hold to is an evening routine. If you got a morning routine, you need an evening routine. And this is where you kind of decompress and you go over the things that you accomplished for the day. Because here's the thing, we write down goals, but we never look at them again besides on January 1, maybe a couple of weeks after that. And the next thing you know is the end of the year and we're wondering why we haven't met none of the goals. Well, you ain't looked at them since you wrote them down. So every night you should be reviewing the goals or the things to do list that you have for the day, and you should be checking things off and getting yourself ready for the next day. So have a decompression type of system in your evening routine and go to bed, go to sleep. Hashtag sleep. Hashtag sleep. Sometimes I go into several communities and I talk about having a dream team. Hashtag dream team. Hashtag dream team. And it ain't the dreams like as in gold, but it's the dream like dreaming, going to sleep, going to bed at night. And we wonder why we can't get rid of the belly fat and we can't lose weight when we eating only 1,200 calories. Well, maybe your body releases so much cortisol because you stressing it out and not going to bed at night. Hashtag dream team. Hashtag dream team. Get your rest at night. You will be so much more productive than you could ever believe. We think burning the midnight oil, staying up all night is going to make us more productive. No, that brain ain't working on the 3 hours of sleep. Right? You can put as much makeup on your face. It ain't helping that brain function. I'm telling you. So look, go to bed and get your 8 hours of sleep. Do you need me to pause for a minute before I go to the H? Got anything you want to say right here, Dr. Roz, when it comes to those systems? And I recap them for you, but let's see what Dr. Roz got to say.
Listen, I just want to say this. Dineen, as my coach, she taught me about systems and about that calendar. Is you have to put all of your things on your calendar. You may think that you could just kind of do things fly, but you need to be intentional. And so that's one of the things, Dineen. Thank you so much about teaching me how to be intentional, getting a system in place, structuring out my day, because it definitely helps. So thank you for that.
And it really does, you guys. Don't underestimate planning. Millionaires spend 80% of their time planning and 20% of their time executing. Because once you kind of know where you're going, right? The end in mind, hashtag the end in mind, right? We read these 7 habits of effective people, or the 7 habits, right? You know the book by Dr. Covey, right? We read these things, but we don't implement this stuff. And what I'm telling you is you have to have these systems. You got to plan. You got to plan. Use 80% of your time to plan, 20% of your time to execute. Because if you're doing the planning, I promise you're going to get the results that you want to see. Yes. So now let's move to the H. The H in shift, hashtag shifting, hashtag shifting. The H in the shift are habits. You could go ahead and put that in the chat as well. Habits. Habits, put it in there. And here's where habits come from, right? I want you to get that it's a part of your belief system is what makes you adopt habits. So the things that you think about, you bring about. The things that you think about, you decide whether or not you believe them or you don't. So your thoughts of reflect your belief system, and your beliefs will reflect your actions. Do you get what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you're thinking about and you're bringing about, you believe that they are true. So if you believe that you're not going to be able to get the coins that you want to get by the end of the year because you just starting in June, then that's exactly what's going to happen. But if you believe that where there is a will, there is a way, and there's more than one way to skin a cat, see, that's my belief. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You got to get that by December, you can still reach your goals. You just have to refocus and buckle down and get it done. All right. So your habits, I want you to think about these things. What do you see in your life right now that you brought into fruition or manifestation from the beginning of the year? I promise it's something that you focused on. I promise that it's something that you were intentional about. I promise that it was definitely something that you were in action about, because you could think and dream as much as you want, but if you ain't put in no effort, no action behind what it is that you dreaming and you're talking about, I promise it ain't done. And here's how I know that this is true, because in the word it says faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So do believe. You can have all the faith you want, but if you ain't walking it out, hashtag walk it out. Hashtag walk it out. If you're not walking it out, it ain't coming, and it ain't gonna manifest, and it ain't gonna get here through osmosis. I need you to go ahead and put some actions behind what it is that I'm saying. So do you get the habits? Do you get what you think about, you bring about, and your belief system dictates what you're taking action on? So if you believe it, you can achieve it, but you got to do some work to get there. We good with the habits?
Well,
Are we good?
listen, I just want to shout out to all the teachers who are taking classes this summer. We have teachers who want to get their master's, they want to get their doctorate, but unfortunately, they have to get their habits together, right?
Yeah.
And be intentional. I know one of the teachers within the village, they're on vacation, but guess what? They're still putting in the work. They're still taking the time to write, a couple of pages and working on their chapters for their dissertation. So again, put in the work. Be intentional. This is some time to relax and spend time with family. But like Dineen said, we got to work on our habits. And if you believe it, you can achieve it. So I love that, Dineen.
Yeah, and it's true. It really is true, you guys. Just be careful of what you're thinking about. So the next thing, right? The next letter that we have in shift is I. Let's get into this influence and impact. And I think they're hand in hand, right? So let's talk about the influence. Influence comes from really what? Your communication, how you communicate with people, how they actually see you, how you occur for them. So let's put an example on for the teachers. When you come into a space, a workspace, whether you're teacher to teacher, peer to peer, or you're talking to your students or your class, the way that you set the tone is based on your language and your conversation, because your conversation kind of gives them an idea on who you are and what your belief systems are. Here are the belief systems again, right? Because all teachers are different. Leaders show up in different ways, and you set the tone. No one really wants to be in a space not being able to be themselves or be true to what it is that they believe. So when you get that, your communication and how you speak to people will actually determine what type of support and help that you get, right? Because we're going to get to this help further down this shift, but you got to understand the way that you communicate with other people will dictate the amount of influence and impact that you have on them. So from your husband, your children, your co-workers, the organizations that you are a part of, you got to get your communication and how you express to people what you care about, what your dreams are. The goal is always to leave people touched, moved, and inspired. Put it in the chat. Touched, moved, and inspired. That's why teachers and speakers and leaders, they do a lot of storytelling, right? Think about even Bible class. It's all about telling stories and getting kids to connect to the things that they can see or relate to. So when you need to influence or impact people in your circle to help you reach your goals and to get things done, it is done with your communication. So always think before I start this communication with this coworker or the people in my house, because I want them to start cleaning and helping me cook and meal prep and do all these things that Dineen Merriweather telling me about on how I need to shift. I want you to think about telling a story that they could relate to, like, hey, you guys, you know how we always dreamt about going to Disney World and going on a trip together as a family? Maybe it's Jamaica, maybe it's a cruise. But in order for us to do that, mommy needs to earn this amount of money in her business. But in order for her to do that, mommy needs your help with cleaning the kitchen, mopping floors, getting the bathrooms done, turning the music on Saturdays like the old days, like we did when mama wanted us to clean the house, right? Saturday morning, it was about the music and about sweeping and cleaning and doing all the things. So whatever your systems are, right? Whatever you put in place for your family to influence them in your communication, tell a story, get them hyped about something that's going to leave them touched, right? Moved and inspired to get into action to help you so you all can accomplish the goal, right? And definitely always see situations as a win-win, right? They helping you clean so you can have more time to build the business and to make the money. But guess where they going? To Disney World, to Jamaica, a cruise. Everybody winning, but you got to put some skin in the game. Do you get what I'm saying? So that influence happens with communication. Make sure you practice your enrollment of people and leave them touched, moved, and inspired.
That's big. That's big. You know, within the village, I put a post out today about teacher leaders having influence, and it's not about the position. And like you said, it's about your impact, your communication with your colleagues. So often, teachers think, well, I'm not the department chair. I'm not the leader in the building. I'm not the principal, assistant principal. I can't have the impact that I want to. But the schools that have positive cultures have teachers who step up and use their influence to create change within their
Absolutely.
own classroom and within the whole building, within their team. So teachers have so much influence, and it's not about a position. So I
No.
just wanted to kind of add that. It's so important.
Yeah, and I know that this is what the community is about, right? For teachers to actually get is not about the title. It's not, that's not where it is. It is about how you influence, how you show up, how you impact the kids and also your coworkers. But here's where it points back again to the belief system, right? When you have a conversation, right? Communication, y'all don't understand how all this stuff ties together. But when you have a conversation, communication that you're not able to make change because you don't have the title, that's really just stems back again to your belief system. Because if you believe how powerful you are, how courageous you are, how competent you are, you'll get that regardless of the title, if your communication, if you can touch, move, and inspire people to get behind you, it don't matter what position or what title that you have. So instead of you focusing on the title, focus on your communication, on how you can influence people with the things that you do, the things that you know, the way that you show up. Because remember, people are always concerned about what's in it for them. So if you get the win-win mentality, you wouldn't approach me without knowing the things that I care about, without knowing the things that's going to touch me, without knowing the things that's going to inspire me, right? So take time to build these relationships with your coworkers, even though you may not be the leader in the room. If you can move the people, you will soon become the leader in the room. So let's talk about the F and shift. Hashtag I'm shifting. Hashtag I'm shifting. Okay, so the F is flexibility. Now, here is where I had to grow, y'all. When I was a leader, I was managing a team when I worked for Radio One. And I was so concerned about people doing things my way. Hashtag be flexible. Hashtag be flexible. Hashtag be flexible. Because the thing that I didn't get, that it's really more important that we make the shot, we score the points, than them actually doing it the way that I want them to do it. Hashtag be flexible. Hashtag be flexible. And it's the same thing when you're shifting in your life, because what you got to get is how you show up at home or how you show up at work is really the same way you want to show up in all the places, because your being flexible and having that influence and communication needs to be practiced at all time in order for you to get the results. But you got to be flexible. When you know that your kids can't make the bed like you make it and make the sharp corners and the angles at the bottom, is that more important to have the angles at the bottom than it is for them to make the bed so the room can look 90% done, even if the shoes are out of place? Y'all better get your life. Get your life. Hashtag be flexible. Hashtag be flexible. It's more important that my kids make their bed than they make their bed like me. Now, I know that when I do it, it's going to have less wrinkles and it's going to be more crisp and the pillow's going to be fluffed and all that. But I ain't even worried about that. I want the bed to be made. And that's the same way you should feel about your workplace, the things that you're doing at home, the things you're doing in the organizations that you are a part of. Shout out to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Okay, whatever organization that it is that you are a part of, don't worry about people doing things your way when you're in these leadership positions. Just worry about getting the thing done and getting the results that you want. Yes, so be flexible.
I love it. I love it. You got to be flexible. If you're trying to reach your goal, and things not going to go the way that you in your mind that they're going to go. So you have to be flexible and pivot. So I love
Yes.
that. Good advice.
Yes. And here's the thing too, and I think you brought up a great point. I think I may have touched upon it, but you and I sometimes we get so caught up in the how, right? Remember how I said my way? Don't worry about the how. The how is not your business, right? Especially when you are moving into an uncertain area, something new that you've never done before, right? You're gonna have to test some things out. And she used that magnificent word pivot, hashtag pivot, y'all in the chat. Hashtag pivot. Like you're gonna have to be okay with things being done in different ways. You are not the only person that have great ideas, teacher leaders. These people that you are managing have great ideas as well. So sometimes when you walk into the room, it's your job to say, hey, tell me how you would do this. Tell me how you think that this would be most effective. How can we get the students to do this? How can we get other teachers to do this? And then what you need to do is be quiet. Do a whole lot less of this right here, and do more of this. Do some listening. Do some listening. Because your people that's supporting you will be able to get you further along than you think they can if you stop being a dictator and allow them to figure out the how. Yes. So
Love it.
yeah. So let's get to the last letter. It's the T. It's the T. The T is team. Yes, y'all. Teamwork make the dream work. Y'all better stop acting like that's just a phrase. That's a real thing, right? And here's what you got to do. Remember about that communication, that enrollment. You got to be able to tell people in a clear and concise way what your goals are and what you would like to see happen, right? You need to be able to say to people that may not be on your team, but that you want on the team, hey, I see that you have this skill set. Here's what I'm doing in the school system or in my community. It would really be a benefit to us if we had you on our team. Because here's what happened for women sometimes, especially. We get this superwoman syndrome. Hashtag don't be a superwoman. Hashtag don't be a superwoman. We want to be all things to all people at all times, right? All things to all people at all times. And what I'm saying is, while we're shifting, while we're getting ready to rebuild, don't put that cape on. Leave that for somebody else that ain't talk to me, right? Leave them to the people that's not in the village. Let them be the superwomen. But for you, don't worry about that. I need you to get a team. I need you to make requests and let people know what it is that you need and how you need them to help them. So listen, a lot of time we're not able to get the teamwork that we need because we're not clear on where we're going ourselves, right? That's why you got to get the schedule and the planning and the routines all together. Because when people come up and say, hey, I want to be a part of the village, how can I assist you? You got to know where your gaps are so you can say, hey, I need somebody to help me with this social media. Hey, I need somebody to help me build this website. Hey, I need somebody to help me with the marketing or my copy points or the post, whatever. But you should be so clear on where you are, in whatever position that you're in, that you know your gaps. And when God bless you with the people to walk past you to say, oh, hey, I want to be a part of the village, you're going to need to know exactly how they can serve you and how they can help you. All right. So quick, you got anything to say about team, or you want me to go ahead and give them a recap of what I said with the shift?
Listen, that the team is my favorite because I believe in teamwork. You know that. That's why I created the village. And too often with teachers, and this is my mistake as well, when I was a teacher in my early years in my career, I was trying to do things alone. And I wasn't reaching my goals because I wasn't intentional. I didn't reach out to other colleagues. I didn't reach out to a mentor. So I love what you're saying about having a team, but you have to be intentional. Let people know what you need. I love that. And you have to know that before you solicit help, you have to know what you need. So I love that. So
That part.
teamwork is too so often what I hear from other principals, school leaders, and teachers is that they have found other educators. Even during this pandemic, we have used social media to find a team, to find a village, to find colleagues that are willing to help us. So I love that teamwork makes the dream work.
It
So
really
if
does.
you are trying to reach some goals in your career, whatever you're trying to do, you need to solicit help and create a team of folks. So I love that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Don't be so prideful, y'all. Nobody has done this alone. If Jesus had 12 disciples, great sisters and brothers, you need to have your 12. And then within the 12, he had what? An inner circle too of three, right? So you need to have your inner circle along with a team and make 12 people be the goal. At least 12 people on the team that help me move my mission that God has given me forward. It ain't no need of trying to do this alone. Nobody has done it alone. The longer you stay by yourself, the slower it's going to take you to get there if you ever get there. So definitely build your team, ask for help, go out and get people. Yes, we are stronger together. You best believe it. You best believe it. And I believe it, right? That I am done with trying to kill myself or work my fingers to the bone. I ain't trying to do all the things. Now, there are some things that I'm strong out at, and running this mouth is one of them. But there's some other things I ain't too good at, and I need somebody to help me get it done. Do you feel what I'm cooking out here? Hashtag shifting. Hashtag I'm shifting. Hashtag I'm shifting. You guys, we got to shift. We want to reach our goals. We want to be dynamic. We want to make impacts, but we got to learn and know that when the world is shifting, when it's an opportunity for us to rebuild and reframe and reshape and refocus, we need to get with the program. When God say move, you need to learn how to move just like that. And the things that we're seeing in our atmosphere, from the changes of laws, the things that we're seeing, we got all the signs that we definitely need to reinvent ourselves and figure out other ways for our dreams to come true and for us to make our calling happen.
Awesome, awesome. So a lot of our, educators are using their summer break to kind of plan for the next school year. So they're thinking about their goals and they're reflecting on last school year and thinking, you know what, I didn't hit certain markers, I didn't reach certain goals. So can you just remind us of what we need to do as it relates to shifting? So we're gonna start with the S. We're just gonna recap.
Yeah,
So
okay.
S, system.
So the S was systems, right? You got to get some systems in place. And here's the thing. I don't want you to focus outside of yourself, because we always think that we could change other people, and working outside of ourselves and changing other systems outside of the things that we're doing is going to help us. But here's what you got to get. When you become the person that you need to become, the atmosphere around you will have no choice but to what? Hashtag shift. Hashtag I'm shifting. So get yourself together first. Get your systems together first so you can show up the way that you need to show up. Then the H was habits. You need new habits. And we know what to do. Like, these things that I'm saying is not new. There's nothing new under the sun. But here's the thing. If you do not make these things a practice in your life, that you're actually trying them out, seeing what works, seeing what don't work, where you need to tweak. If you're never trying this stuff, you just doing a whole bunch of talking and ain't going to cause no changes, right? Habits, remember we said thoughts produce things. What you think about, you bring about. So your thoughts speaks to your belief, because your belief is when you say, yes, I believe that. Yes, I will do that. And then you would take the necessary actions to make it happen. Why? Because faith without works is dead. And then we said the I. The I is all about influence. You want to make an impact, but you got to get that conversation together. You got to know how to enroll your family members, enroll your friends, enroll the people in your organizations to help move your mission forward. But it starts with your conversation. It's how you speak to people. You got to be clear and concise and know what it is that you need when you need it. Then we talked about the F, being flexible, because the how ain't your business. All you need to do is be able to give people instructions and show them, paint the picture on what you want the end to look like, and then allow them to figure out their own ways on how to get there. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and I do believe it. And then the last thing we talked about was the T. Teamwork does make the dream work. Know how to make the request for the things that you need. But if you don't know what you need, you ain't gonna be able to ask for what you need. Okay?
Love it. Hashtag I'm shifting.
I'm shifting. That's right. Hashtag I'm shifting.
Exactly. So it's June. we still have time to reach our goals. Use your summer break educators to plan out some things, to shift and really be intentional about reaching those goals. So Dineen, I know you're my coach, so I stay plugged into everything that you're doing. But can you tell the village what do you have going on?
Okay, so right now I provided the link. If you want to hook up with me, just be in conversation, right? You want me to come talk on your podcast, or you want to be in conversation, you want coaching. I want you to use this discovery session link. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing for us to talk for 30 minutes to see how we can hook up, how we can connect. I am live at 5 on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday at Dineen Merriweather. The handle is right there on your screen. You can find me on Facebook. Like the page, definitely share the videos. I'm also on YouTube. I need to get my subscribers up on YouTube, so you can subscribe to Dineen Merriweather on YouTube as well, and you can binge out on all the content there. It's just all lined up for you, all the lives at 5 and some other things that I put out there. But yeah, definitely, if you want to be in conversation, you feel like you need help to get you moving forward, just use that discovery call link and schedule some time, and let's see whether or not we are a good fit for each other to work together, so I can help you make sure that you get the results that you want, because I am affectionately known as the results coach. So get in where you fit in. If you're ready, I'm ready.
And I love when you're live at 5. You're like, I'm live at
Yes.
5.
Hey,
I'm live
I'm
at
live.
5. So listen, guys, again, thank you, Dineen Merriweather. You are a village elder. You are always welcome to come and share and inspire our village members, because,
Thank you.
again, you are awesome. You are great. And I love you so much. So thank you so much.
And thank you so much for being here. And a quick shout out to all the teachers, for all the parents like me who had to become teachers during the pandemic. Y'all don't understand how much we love you and appreciate you now. Maybe we didn't before as much as we needed to, but do know that I sets it out for all my teachers. They get all the gifts for all the celebrations and all the things, because I do appreciate them, because being a teacher during the pandemic was very rough. And I know that you all are gifted in that area. And that's why I don't need to do that. I just need to be talking up here with you, and I allow all the people here in the village, the teacher leaders, to support my children. So thank you for all you do. We do appreciate you, and we're so happy that schools are back open and our kids have amazing people like you to pour into their lives, to support what we're doing at home, and you guys supporting us and giving them what they need. So thank you so much to all the teachers leaders here in the village, and I love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. All right, village. Listen, that was awesome. So again, keep pressing, keep shifting towards your goal. It's not too late. A lot of our school leaders, teacher leaders, we had a wonderful school year. It was long. We had to kind of transition, but listen, let's be intentional about this summer and planning for next school year. Think about some of your career goals or some goals that you just have personally. Again, it's not too late to accomplish those things. Again, I'm shifting. And listen, thanks again for tuning in with the village. Listen, we're going to take a little break, a summer break for the village. So we're not going to be going live for the month of July. But we'll be back in August. So continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Village LG. And stay tuned. We have so many great things coming. So stay tuned. We have some books. Yes, books. Our online course. So many great things. Listen, continue to follow us. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. See you next time. Happy summer.